Deng Xiaoping decided to start reform in rural areas mainly for the following reasons. 1. The seriousness of rural plight. As a traditional agricultural country, China has the vast majority of the population in rural areas. After years of collectivization and the implementation of the people's commune system, rural productivity is extremely low, farmers live in poverty, and food supply is insufficient. Changes are urgently needed. This dilemma has affected social stability, and solving agricultural problems has become a top priority. 2. Relatively little resistance to reform. Compared with the reform of urban industry, the resistance to rural reform is relatively small. Rural reform does not involve the direct interests of the country's core industries and urban workers, and the political risks are low. At the same time, the most urgent desire for rural reform is the spontaneous demand of farmers, mainly to improve living conditions. Even if there is a violation of rules within the party, it is easy to reach a consensus because solving the problem of farmers' food and clothing is a basic social need. 3. Agriculture as the basis of national economy. Deng Xiaoping realized that the food issue is directly related to social stability and economic development. Through rural reform, agricultural production can be rapidly increased, ensuring national food supply, and laying the foundation for further urban and industrial reform. Improvements in agriculture not only help solve food safety problems, but also create conditions for the overall improvement of the national economy. 4. Experimental nature and experience accumulation. Rural reforms, especially the implementation of the household responsibility system and the household responsibility system, are experimental in nature. Through the success of these reform measures, valuable experience has been accumulated, providing a reference model for subsequent reforms in the urban and industrial fields. This accumulation of experience is of great significance for comprehensively advancing reform. Summarize. Deng Xiaoping started with rural reform and fully considered the seriousness of rural plight, the relatively small resistance to reform, the basic status of agriculture, and the experimental nature of reform. This strategy not only alleviated the plight of rural areas and improved farmers' enthusiasm, but also laid a solid foundation for China's comprehensive reform. The successful experience of rural reform provides important reference for urban and industrial reform.